Chicago Bears draft coverage is sponsored by RexMD. If you're struggling a little bit in the bedroom, go to rexmd.com/chat and get up to 90% off both generic and branded Cialis and Viagra. RexMD.com/chat. Link is going to be in the comments and the description. The Bears have made 2 picks here really close together. First, it was Gervon Dexter Sr. with the number 53 overall pick. We'll talk about that pick first in a moment, but I also want to mention they traded back up for Tyrique Stevenson. We'll show those trade details here in a bit. We'll finish with him, and I'm more excited about the Stevenson pick, so don't go anywhere. But want to go in chronological order here. Let's start with Gervon Dexter Sr., who, I'll be honest, I think this is a little early for me. It's an okay pick because it fills a need, and it's a projection upside pick. And I think early in a rebuild, trying to get some upside talent makes some sense. 6'5" and a half, just about 310 pounds. The athletic traits are off the charts, but the production hasn't quite been there. You look at our scouting report here on Gervon Dexter Sr., and that's kind of the story. The upside is massive athletically, but the production hasn't been there. He ran a 4.8 in the 40-yard dash, but kind of slow off the line, didn't always react well off the snap, so he's got to get better instincts in the NFL. But Gervon Dexter Sr., if he can reach his potential or get close to it, can be a really good defensive lineman. I want to know this when it comes to Dexter. Is he a one-tech? Is he a three-tech? Is he a hybrid? I think having versatility is important, and he certainly has that. So I like that aspect of this when it comes to Gervon Dexter Sr. I wonder if he could have been there at 64. NFL's kind of been all over the place on him. Tom Downey, our draft analyst, not as high on him. Other guys had him as a top 40 guy. I saw him going early in round 2 in some mocks. So you get him at 53. For me, it's probably a little early. I think 61 or 64 would have been better, but if the Bears really like him, if he was high on their board, then you got to stick to your board. You do months and months and months and months of breakdowns as a staff, and clearly they were high on Gervon Dexter Sr. I just am a bit surprised they went with him over Adetomiwa Adebawore, but you're going to plug him in here. I would imagine he'll line up where Justin Jones is, and Jones becomes a backup or kicks over to the other spot, and Billings becomes a rotation backup type. Here's what I do know. You need defensive linemen and talented ones, and Dexter is talented. Can he reach his potential? That's up to Matt Eberflus and his staff to help him get there. Grade the pick of Gervon Dexter Sr. to the Chicago Bears. Type A, B, C, D, or F. Grade the pick of Dexter to Chicago here on the channel. Again, you look at the production, and that's where you're like, is this a Dexter problem? Was this a University of Florida problem? New coaching staff this past year, they had problems defensively. Talent on that roster wasn't great this past season, only 2 sacks. You would like him to be more productive. He's got the traits to do so. His relative athletic score for qualified defensive tackles over the last 3 decades, 9.53 out of 10. He's freaky athletic for his size, but the production hasn't been there. So that's where I think teams are kind of conflicted on where to take this guy. Bears obviously took him in the middle of the 2nd round. Dane Brugler of The Athletic had this breakdown that Dexter must develop a more disciplined approach to turn the flashes into more consistent play, but he is an agile, coordinated big man who has yet to play his best football. He is a traits-based projection who can play up and down the line, which will interest both even and odd fronts. So again, versatility, 1-tech, 3-tech. I'll be fascinated to see where he lines up on this defensive line. I'll be curious to see what Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus say about what they saw in him, which is why they made the pick. We'll talk about Tyrique Stevenson, a pick I like considerably more, to be honest. But here, let's talk about our sponsor, RexMD. Appreciate them for sponsoring our Day 2 draft coverage. Fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? Do you wish you could have a more fulfilling sex life? Well, you're not alone. There's a lot of us out there that feel that way. We'll tell you about RexMD, the online source for men wellness. RexMD offers an easy and discreet way to get the medication you need for ED without having to visit a doctor's office. With just a few clicks, you can have your medication delivered straight to your door at a fraction of the cost of traditional pharmacies. RexMD's team of licensed physicians will work with you to find the right treatment plan, and their medication is made in the United States, so you can trust its quality. Plus, their customer support team is available 24/7 to answer any questions or concerns that you may have. So, if you're ready to take control of your sex life and say goodbye to ED, head on over to rexmd.com/chat and start your consultation today. Take advantage of the best deal they've ever offered. Get up to 90% off and pay just $2 per dosage with our exclusive link. It's rexmd.com/chat. Limited time deal. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for listeners to get started. That's rexmd.com/chat, up to 90% off. Check the link for this deal in the description of this video. All right, Tyrique Stevenson, round 2, pick number 56. I mocked him to the Bears a ton in mock drafts at 53, 61. I was scared he wouldn't even get to 53, so the fact that the Bears got him here, I like it. Here's how the Bears got to this pick, because obviously they didn't own the 56th pick. They picked Dexter at 53, and then they had 61 and 64, but they made a trade to go up with Jacksonville and get Tyrique Stevenson. They traded 61 and a late 4th rounder. That's probably about right to move up 5 spots at this point in the NFL draft. And I'm completely fine and content and even happy that they did that. I don't mind giving up 136, which was an extra pick anyway, to do this, because Tyrique Stevenson, Downey's a little down on him. 55, though, even for his ranking, though, that's still good value. I had Stevenson at about a top 40 player. He's freaky athletic. He's over 6 feet, 200 pounds. He started his college career at Georgia, struggled there a little bit, transferred to Miami, and was a stud. Good ball skills. He can press, play man-to-man. You can drop him into zone if you want to as well. He's going to get in your grill and kind of mix it up with receivers also. I'm a big fan of that. He's a really nice athlete. You look at the scouting report here, the swagger one. That's kind of what I'm referring to. I like the swagger. Limited production, but he still had 2 interceptions last year, 7 breakups. Wasn't targeted a ton. I think he just gave up 2 or 3 touchdowns last year. Downey thinks he could be a safety, but there's no way. Like, he's playing. He's your second outside corner, in my opinion. You go Jalen Johnson, Tyrique Stevenson with Kyler Gordon in the slot. That is what you're looking at here. That is what you're looking at if you're the Chicago Bears. I think he's a plug-and-play starter. He's better than Kindle Vildor. Obviously, he'll have to earn that starting spot, but I think he's a fantastic fit here. We'll talk a little bit more about Tyrique Stevenson here in just a moment, but hit that subscribe button here on Chicago Bears Now. We're going to have coverage throughout the draft, throughout the offseason, into the season. Don't miss any of it. Sub for Bears Dubs. We got you covered here on the channel. Let's continue to grow this show. Dane Brugler had this to say about Stevenson, says he needs to become more disciplined in coverage and against the run, but he's long, he's rangy, with speed and short area athleticism to stay in phase. He's a press man corner on the perimeter with NFL starting ability. That's what I see. I think he can start as a rookie, as a physical, athletic outside corner. You want to keep Kyler Gordon in the slot, I assume. This allows you to do that. 7 breakups, like I mentioned. Probably does need to improve a little bit as a tackler, but he can do that. Obviously, the hits principles are going to be applied by the Bears coaching staff to keep him, engaged and willing to be a willing tackler. So I'm excited. I'm higher on Stevenson than a lot. I love his athletic profile. I like the length. I like the size. I like the athleticism. And, yeah, he can improve in some areas, but you've got enough talent there with this kid that if you can just fine-tune a couple of things, I think he could be better than Kyler Gordon. I'll say that right now. We're hoping to see a jump from Gordon in year 2, who also has a really good athletic profile. But if he takes a step and Stevenson comes in and plays well as a rookie, this secondary could be nice, man. Jalen Johnson, Tyrique Stevenson, who would plug in as your second outside corner, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Eddie Jackson. I'm a big fan. I love this pick. I wasn't super excited about the Dexter pick. I'd probably give that one about a C. I'm giving this one an A or an A- because I think he's that good. I thought he was going to go top 40, top 45. You get him here at 56. Love the value by Ryan Poles. So now, when you look at the Bears draft profile, they have drafted Darnell Wright to fill offensive tackle. They've filled corner, and they filled defensive tackle. I still think you got to go D-line. You got to add more there. Center, John Michael Schmitz just went to the New York Giants. Joe Tippmann went earlier, so the top two guys are gone. Luke Whippler is a guy that could be in range at 64. We'll see what happens there. We'll have another video breaking down that pick coming up here in just a little bit. But I think overall I'm feeling good about this draft. I really like 2 picks. I'm lukewarm on the Dexter pick. So I think overall I'm sitting at about a B, but Darnell Wright, B+ is what I gave it last night. A-, pretty close there. Tyrique Stevenson, A-. Dexter's probably a C. I think you add that all up. I think it's been a solid B draft right now for Ryan Poles. And look, if you want to say he's reached a bit, well, he's filled some needs. There's no doubt about that. And I think a consistent theme, and we've seen this through 2 drafts now, he likes guys with high athletic profiles. He does. It's clear. You look at the relative athletic scores of all these guys, they're all high. So that is just the reality of the situation. So more Bears draft coverage to come. Hit that sub button. We're going to have you covered. We appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's video. Gervon Dexter, Tyrique Stevenson, the 2 picks here. Who do you want the Bears to draft next? That is the question I have for you guys. Let us know in the comment section down below who you would like to see Chicago take next.